where you are comfortable. Even you can use Excel also. So first of all, when we talks about data, so we need to understand types of data. As I already mentioned that tomorrow I will cover the types of data in research. So we basically have to see about the types of data in research. Anybody is aware about the different types of data in research? Anyone wants to answer? Types of data in research. Anybody is aware? Yes. Any answers? Any guess?
Quantitative and qualitative data, sir.
Quantitative and qualitative is not a data. Data is always quantitative, right? Right. So again, so
Data
that
qualities also matter now over there. It is a sufficient or dummy data or the real data one.
you have that data.
Sir, we have two kind of data, primary and secondary data.
Primary and secondary research, right? Because based on primary data and secondary data, right? So data can be both, but types of data, if you want to cover up, so let's say if you are doing primary data, if you are doing secondary data, right? So this based on data, this study has been decided into primary and secondary, correct? But if we are collecting those primary and secondary data, then there are certain scale, under which the data has been bifurcated. Anyone knows about that? Okay, let's see this. I hope you are aware about now. Let me make this correction because every time I forgot to mention this. Right? Or each. Okay. So types of data is basically, as you can see this, there are 4 types of data. So there is nominal data, there is ordinal data, there is interval data, and there is scale data or ratio data, or rather I can say. So, these 2 categories are commonly, decided as a part of scale data in HPSS. Scale data is basically, it's a numerical data, pure number data. So what is nominal data and ordinal data? So I hope there are certain questions that you are asking in your research. For an example, if you are asking someone, as you can see in the screen, what is your gender? What is your gender? So what would be the probable answer? Either it could be male or it could be female. Yes or no? Yes, be interactive in the class because today is a class where you have to be interactive because, right. So
Yes,
gender, male and female, right? So male and female. So are you allowing respondent to answer or you are giving categories to the respondent to answer? Right. So you are giving categories. The responses can be bifurcated into categories. Right. Let's say if somebody is in male or female, so they will not be in other categories, right? So there is a categories, right, in the data. So there is a categories. Again, under the category, what is again the next point is, let's say if I want to draft my questionnaire, is there any particular reasons or, is there any particular logic that if I'm asking, something like, gender, male and female. So should I put male to be first or second to female to be second? What should I do? Or it's okay if I'm putting anything at any place? What should I do? Should I put male first when I'm drafting a questionnaire, or should I put female to be first? Or it is okay if there is no category, if there is no sequential bifurcation? What is applicable for gender?
One male first.
Male first. What is the reason? Instead, being a female, you want to put male to be first. Good, thank you. But what is the reason? What is the reason? You said male first. And what's the reason? So there is no sequence, right?
Yes, sir. There is
So
no
when
sequence.
you are asking this gender, no, the sequence does not matters to you. So whenever you are talking and you are discussing about the nominal and ordinal data, you must have to take this category and you must have to bifurcate those types of scale based on, the categories and sequencing, right? So first of all, whenever any questions where they have been asked in terms of options, which is called close-ended questionnaires, yes or no? We usually called close-ended questionnaires. So one of the faculty has answered, male faculty right now, that it could be either primary and secondary. You are correct. So primary and secondary usually, so primary study are usually based on questionnaire, and under the questionnaire, there are certain questions which are close-ended. Yes or no? Clear. So whenever primary research in terms of questionnaire have been drafted, so majorly they are close-ended questionnaire, right? So usually 90% of the data are falling into these two scales. Either it could be nominal and either it could be ordinal. Let's first discuss about what is nominal and ordinal, then I'll prove it. Why I'm giving this particular statement that in primary research, 90% of the data are falling into either nominal or ordinal scale. Let's take an example, gender. So gender, what is gender? What could be your answer if I'm asking gender, right? So what is gender? Gender is male and female. Yes or no? So gender is male and female. Yes. Madam said male to be first, female to be second. Okay, I accepted her wish. Thank you. But if somebody wants to put female to be first and male to be second, is there any crime?
No, sir.
Is there any problem? No. Yes or no? There is no problem. So here in this question, the sequence does not matter. Although there is a category, but sequence of category does not matters. Right. So I hope I'm making sense. When the categorical data are there, but the category sequence does not matters to the data, that means the respondent are free to answer or free to arrange the options of the questions in a sequence they want, right? So that is called nominal data, and gender is one of the example, right? Either I can put male to be first and female to be second, or just remember, like, you are making coding in SPSS. So according to the sequence which you have given over here, let's say if according to the ma'am wish, there is male to be one and female to be second, and according to my wish, female to be first and male to be second. So interchange is possible. So there is a sequence does not matters. So this kind of data are nominal. I hope it is clear. Agreed?
Agreed,
Right.
sir.
Yes, sir.
And if I want to ask the age of the respondent in the category, right? Age of the respondent in the category, right? So let's say I'm taking age, right? So now, let's say there are a few categories of age, 0 to 20, 21 to 40, 41 to 60, and greater than 60, right? Now, should I put this into sequence, or it is okay if it is jumbling out? Should I put it in sequence, or it is okay if it is jumble? Being a respondent, should I perceive that when I'm asking the answer for gender, that male should be first and female to be second, or I should perceive that anyone could be first or second? I have to refer the option, right? So I have the answer that anyone could be first, I have to refer. But when I'm reading this particular age, should I have some perception in mind that 0 to 20 to be first, and 21 to 40 to be second, 41 to 60 to be third, and greater than 60 to be fourth, if there are 4 categories, or it could be jumble it out. So here we have the sequence. Yes or no? So obviously any respondent who are going to answer for the age, they will always start from the first option as the lowest one and the last option as the highest one, right? So they perceive that there is a sequence because they will not find it out in jumble manner. When the things are in numbers, it has to be in sequence. If we are asking any variables which is in number, and that numbers can be converted into categories, so that the sequence does matters for all these answers. Right. So whenever any categorical questions of numbers are always in sequence, and that is where it is ordinary data. So ordinary data is in both the side, it is correct that categories are also there, and sequence also does matters for this particular variable. Clear? So sequence does matters. So that is why it is called ordinary data, ordinary scale data. And that's why all the options are is in the sequence. I hope it is clear. Right. And you can see this over here also. Likert scale, you can see this. They are all in sequence. Let's say you are doing Likert scale. So strongly disagree is the first one. Disagree to be second one. Neutral to be third one, agree to be fourth one, and strongly agree to be fifth one. So this is how the sequence are going to matters. Is it clear? Done? Everyone? Any query, any doubt so far, so now? Please ask. Yes, complete?
Sorry, sir, I got disconnected. Can you please explain it again?
Sorry?
Sir, I got disconnected, sir. Can you please explain the third and fourth points, sir?
You missed.
Yes, sir, I got disconnected. Actually.
Categories, we are discussing about categories, so categories like this, gender and age. In this category, you are asking the answers in categories. Any one answer that respondent has to give it, right? But when you are portraying those options, right, in those options, if the sequence does matters to put the options, just you have to think about in a psychological mind that, if somebody is asking you the gender, so is there any literature which support that gender should be first, a male should be first and female to be second? No. It should be a random decision, right? So where the sequence does not matter for categorical data. So if the sequence does not matter for categorical data, it is nominal data. At the same time, if you're asking the age, which is in number data, the same way if I'm asking annual income, right? So should I write like this, greater than, equals to 50,000, then I'll write more than 250,000. Then I'll write, then I'll write 1.5 to 2.5, and then I'll write 50,000 to 1.5. Is it advisable? Would you like to answer being a respondent? No. Because when being a respondent, you know that where the sequence does matter from either lowest to highest, that is ascending to descending or descending to ascending, right? So it should be like that, 50K up to 50K, right? 50K to 1.5 lakh, 1.5 to 2.5, and greater than 2.5. Which option is better for you to answer being a respondent? This one, first choice, or the second choice?
Second one, sir.
Obviously, because you pursued that it is in number and that should be in sequence. So that is why it is called ordinary data. I hope it is clear now.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
The number data, either it can be converted into category, and this is how it can be asked. And the third is it should be ratio data, that is a number, just like a stock price. Right. Again, age can be converted into scale data. Let's say if I'm not asking this categories of age, right? If I'm not asking the categories of age, then I can simply ask, what is your age? That is open-ended question. So people will write 43, people will write 58, people will write 63, right? So it is open-ended questions. So again, I'll get this data in numbers. So that is called scale ratio data, pure numbers, right? So whenever the data is in numbers, so again, I would like to add the comment of that, sir, primary data and secondary data. So mainly when you are covering the secondary data, which is in pure facts and figures and numbers, so this kind of data are ratio data. I hope it is clear where you are applying mostly regression, correlations. Yes or no? So
Yes,
this is applicable to this kind of data. Yes? Clear?
yes, sir.
Okay. So I hope these types of data is clear to everyone. लोग बोलते नहीं है, बहुत ज्यादा सिखा दिया
Yes,
है
sir.
या
Yes, sir.
बहुत confusion है? बाकी लोग कहाँ हैं? बाकी लोग क्लियर है सबको?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
ओके ओके ओके। देखिए, अब नॉर्मलिटी, जब भी आप डेटा एनालिसिस करते हो तो आपको दो चीज हमेशा देखनी पड़ती है। मैं आपको ये बता दूं, सबसे पहले आपको डिसाइड करना पड़ता है कि आपका डेटा नॉर्मल है कि आपका डेटा नॉर्मल नहीं है। ठीक है, सो आप कैसे डिसाइड करते हो? यू आर गोइंग फॉर नॉर्मलिटी टेस्ट। क्लियर? यू आर गोइंग फॉर नॉर्मलिटी टेस्ट। अगर डेटा नॉर्मल आता है तो आप क्या यूज करते हो? आप यूज करते हो पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट। और अगर आपका डेटा नॉर्मल नहीं है तो आप क्या यूज करते हो? नॉन पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट। क्लियर? अंडरस्टूड? Okay. Now, there are two types of normality test when you are running SPSS. You can see this. There are two statisticians who has evolved this particular concept, which is called normality test. The one of the statistician is called Kolmogorov-Smirnov, and second one is Shapiro-Wilcoxon. So the short form of this particular test is called KS, and Shapiro-Wilcoxon test is called SW. Right. So KS and SW, these are the two kinds of tests to check the normality of the data. Right. Now the question over here is when to consider the result of SW test and when to consider the result of KS test. Right. So that is a question mark. So here we have to see this. The Shapiro-Wilk, as you can see over here. So Shapiro-Wilk is applicable when you have the sample size less than 50. So mainly Shapiro-Wilk is not applicable whenever you are going for PhD study or something. It is applicable to research paper if your research sample size is limited to 50. But if you are going beyond 50, you have to go for Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, right? So this is Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, where you have to apply this particular test when your sample size is too large, right? It's too lengthy, then you have to apply the Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, right? So that is where it is applicable. Now we have to learn the p-value rules in terms of acceptance and rejection of null hypothesis. Anyone is having idea? The acceptance and rejection of p-value rules and criteria. Anyone? Okay. So the rule for acceptance and rejection of null hypothesis is there is a p-value and there is a significance value. So significance value means chances of error. I hope you are aware about 0.05. Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir. Yes, sir.
Right. And p-value means the probability value which we are getting out of the results. Yes. So let's say if I'm getting the p-value in two cases, I'm taking two examples. In one cases, I'm getting this p-value 0.000. As you can see this, in SPSS, this p-value has been bifurcated in significance value. As you can see this, all the p-values are 0.000 over here. Yes or no? Right?
Yes.
And second answer is, let's say if I'm getting p-value is 0.100. Again, the significance value is same in both the cases because significance value in social sciences 5%, right? So which is common for all, right? So significance value social sciences 5%. So this 5% has been converted into decimal, and this decimal is 0.05 by dividing by 100, right? So that is why it is called 0.05 because you are dividing 5% in decimal. So decimal is always converted by dividing into 100, right? So that is why it is 0.05. Now you can see this, the first instance says that the p-value is 0.05, 0.000, which is actually the result which you have displayed on these slides also. All the p-values for all the factors of online banking are 0.000, as you can see this, right? So first of all, you need to decide, is it greater than or less than 0.05? That is significance value, right? This is p-value. So this is p-value. So we are talking about this value. These values are this. And this is standard significance value. By comparing these two values, which one is higher? P-value or significance value?
Significance value, sir.
Significance value, sir.
Significance value, right? So you know the rule, the highest value where the two angles of this is going to open. Yes or no? So if I'm putting this p-value and significance value in the language of research, so this has been read like this for case number 1, that the p-value is less than significance value. Yes or no? This is how you have to read it, that particular results. P-value is less than 0.05. What I have done it, I just identified the biggest value. So I have opened these two angles in front of that particular value. And now if I want to read it like p-value is, this is a less than sign, right? Because, the first parameter is, according to that, the sign which you are putting, it is less than, right? So p-value is less than significant value. So whenever p-value is less than significant value 0.05, which hypothesis got accepted? So this is called rejection region of null hypothesis, right? So there is a concept called acceptance and rejection of null hypothesis, right? So see, if p-value is less than significance value, right, you have to reject null hypothesis and you have to accept alternate hypothesis, right? And if p-value is greater than significance value, so you have to reject alternate hypothesis and you have to accept null hypothesis, right? So in this case, what is your situation in first case? Your p-value was 0.000 and your significance value was 0.05. You said that this is bigger one, so the two bracket has open, angle has open, and this has been read like p-value is, this is less than sign, less than significance value. So whenever p-value is less than significance value, right, which hypothesis got rejected? Null. So which is accepted? Alternate. So this is your answer. So what is the alternate assumption for normality? So normality alternate assumption says that data are not normally distributed. So if I need to answer this particular question in this, so I can only say that the data are not normally distributed. I hope it is clear. Understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. And the same side, now you can see the second situation, 0.100 and 0.05. Which one is higher?
0.1, sir.
So the highest figure, the two bracket will open in front of them. And now you can see this p-value is greater than 0.05. So p-value greater than 0.05. What is the situation? Acceptance of null hypothesis. What is null hypothesis? Data are normally distributed. So in here, if instead of 0.000, if your answers are 0.100, 0.253, 0.400, or 0.08, so in this case, your p-value is greater than 0.05, and if it is there, then you must have to accept your null hypothesis, this one, and this says that data are normally distributed. So whenever data are normally distributed, we have already discussed in the beginning that you have to apply parametric test, and if the data are not normally distributed, you need to apply the non-parametric test. I hope I'm making sense, and I hope it is clear, because it is very, very important to understand parametric, non-parametric, because then from next slide, we are going to see different parametrics and non-parametric test with the consideration of this normality test. So आपको ये भी याद रखना है कि H0 एक्सेप्ट होता है तो डेटा नॉर्मल होता है कि नहीं होता, राइट, और नॉर्मल होता है तो पैरामेट्रिक होता है, राइट, सो दैट इज क्वाइट ऑब्वियस, और डेटा नॉर्मल नहीं है तो नॉन पैरामेट्रिक। तो H0 जब एक्सेप्ट होता है तो डेटा नॉर्मल है कि नहीं है वो आपको पता होना चाहिए, बिकॉज पैरामेट्रिक उसके साथ जुड़ा हुआ है, राइट। और मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली acceptance and rejection criteria of null hypothesis with consideration to p value should also be known. Is it clear?
Yes.
Any doubt so far so now? Please ask. Okay.
Sir, can any case shows that the p-value, if p-value is equal to the significance value?
Yeah,
Is it
there are
possible?
certain instances. There are instances. So this is called
Then
this is
what
called
what
indifference. This
accept
is
or
called
reject?
indifference. But in that case, what I can say is you must have to give the justification in terms of accepting null hypothesis. Because we are saying that 0.05 less than. So if it is exactly 0.05, that means they are on the borderline. So you must have to accept the null hypothesis. Clear? Okay. Now you can see this. There are different types of tests based on the data we have learned. We have already learned nominal data, continuous data, ordinal data. Clear? So with those consideration, here they are saying, nominal, ordinal, and scale data. So here they are asking that, if you have asked, let's say if I want to see this, I'm doing research on, consumer perception towards online banking. And I want to see that, is there any difference of opinion between genders of consumers in India is having certain difference of opinion with the, factors of consumer perception towards online banking, right? So let's say if I'm asking these particular questions with gender, so gender has two aspects, male and female. So how many groups are there? Two? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So there are two groups. Then the second of things which you have to do is normality checking. You must have to check the normality. And if in the checking of normality, if data turns out to be normal, right? So there is a normality test. And if the data turns out to be normal, which test you need to apply, parametric or non-parametric? If data parametric. And if data does not turns out to be normal,
Then non-parametric.
then non-parametric. Right. So if you are checking difference of opinion among gender for the factors of online banking, right? So these factors are 5 to 6, right? And these data are mainly in scale data or ordinal scale data, right? In Likert scale. So you are comparing the opinion of this particular gender with those things, right? Clear? So in that case, what you need to do is your nominal or ordinal scale data category, if they have a two groups, or there is another category which you have three groups or more than three, right? So either it is two groups or more than two groups. So if the two groups are there and if the data turns to be normal, you need to apply independent sample t-test. You need to apply independent sample t-test. And if your data does not turns to be normal, although they have a two groups and data are not normal, you need to go for non-parametric test. And the non-parametric version of independent sample t-test is Mann-Whitney U test. I hope it is clear. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then the same situation, like if the factors are same for online banking. Now the second socio-demographic factor I want to take, age, right? Up to 20 years, then 20 years to 40 years, 41 to 60 years, and greater than 60 years. So these are the four age categories, which I have it in order. And if I need to see this, so there are more than two categories, first of all. So I'll not fall into this category. So I have to go with this category. Again, I have to see this. If there is only one variable of study out of this, then you must go for, one way ANOVA, right? So here you have to see this two or more variables in terms of age, right? So you can see this two or more variable, that is 0 to 20, 21 to 40, 41 to 60, and more than 60. And if you have the another variable is ordinal or scale data, and if this ordinal, so always normality किसके ऊपर चेक की जाती है? Always do remember that normality हमेशा आप scale data पे ही चेक करते हो, कभी कोई gender की normality नहीं चेक करता, right? You should not do it ideally, right? So normality किसकी चेक होती है? Scale और ordinal data की, clear? So if this scale and ordinal data turns out to be normal, right? That is turns out to be normal, you need to go for one-way ANOVA, right? So if you have data to be normal in terms of parametric test, and if there are two groups, you need to go for independent sample t-test, and if there are more than two groups, you need to go for one-way ANOVA. And at the same time, the non-parametric version of one-way ANOVA is Kruskal-Wallis, and it is applicable when your data is not normal. I hope I'm making sense. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Any doubt so far, so now? Anyone? Okay. Then, one more thing that I wanted to tell you. There is one kind of other categories, continuous data. Rest are very, there are so many tests, but with the consideration of highly utilized test, with the consideration of time limit, I'm considering that continuous data. So continuous data means there is a scenario of before and after. I hope you're aware about it. Before and after. So there was an incident of, yes, any doubt? There is a scenario of before and after. So before means 2000, let's say if you want to check the impact of COVID-19 on Indian stock market, so you must take this scenario of before 2019 and after 2019. Let's say today we are in 2025. So from 2019 onwards, you must have to take the data for 6 years. So before that also you should consider the data from 2014, and that is where you have to start your data collection. So from 2014 to 2025, you can cover up the data, so that 6 years before COVID-19 and 6 years after COVID-19, that you need to take into consideration. Clear? So that is called before and after scenario. Again, in this case, and always do remember that continuous data itself is a scale data, right? So if I want to check the impact of COVID-19 on Indian stock market, so I collect the data before. That means I'll collect the data from 2013 to 19. And if I need to collect the afterwards, so I'll collect the data from 2020 to 25. But both the data are of same variable. So variable is same, but the time duration are different. But although they are a scale data, so for both the variable, both the time period of data, you have to identify the normality, right? And if the data turns to be normal, right? If the data turns to be normal, you need to apply paired t-test. And if the data does not turns to be normal, you need to apply Wilcoxon sign rank test, right? So Wilcoxon sign rank test is the non-parametric version of paired sample t-test. It is a non-parametric version of paired sample t-test. Is it clear?
Yes.
Understood? Any doubt, anyone so far, so now? Okay. So this is parametric test, right? So firstly, it is independent sample t-test, right? So simply a single most widely used test in statistics. It used to compare the difference of separate groups. So difference of separate group means it is applicable for two groups only. And the best example in social science for two groups are male and female. So usually it is applicable on gender. That doesn't mean that it should not be applicable to other one, but anywhere you have two groups, right? That is where it is applicable. So this test can be used to explore difference in naturally occurring groups. And the independent sample t-test requires that the dependent variable is approximately normally distributed. So as I was already mentioned that this is gender. So gender is socio-demographic profile. Always do remember that socio-demographic profiles are mostly independent variable. So can anybody tell me which one is dependent variable? We already discussed, no, factors for online banking. Yes or no? So this is going to be dependent variables, right? So here we are checking the impact of difference of opinion of gender towards factors of online banking. So online banking is going to be differ based on opinion of male female, but male female is not going to differ based on factors of opinion, right? So that is where based on fact male and female, the factors difference of opinion is going to differ. So here this is dependent variable. And whenever you are finding normality, normality always find on dependent variable, and that too with the scale data or ordinal scale data. It should not be for nominal data, right? Is it clear?
Yes.
And that is how it is.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so you can see this. So there are two aspects, in normality is there. First of all, normality checking, and secondly, it is Leavenworth statistics, right? That is, equal variance. So that is variance test. इसका दूसरा नाम होता है variance test. So data के अंदर is there any variation? Again, the rule is same for normality. जैसे कि normality में we have seen it like data are not normal. Data are normal. So here also they are saying that equal variance assumed. And in normality, there was alternate hypothesis. Data are not normally distributed. So here they are saying that the equal variance are not assumed. Same way, the rule of P in terms of acceptance and rejections are same for all the tests. Even you are going for normality, Leavenworth statistics, or this test is called inferential statistics. This test is called inferential statistics. Clear? This is final test. So this, for this test, you have to check this figure for this test. And for this test, you have to check this figure. So there are two significance value which is given over here, right? So that is where you have to differentiate. So for first of all, once your normality has been received, you have to check the equal variance assumed. So here again, the rules for P is same. If null hypothesis is going to be accepted when your P value is greater than 0.05, and this is going to be accepted when your P value is less than 0.05. Over here, what is your scenario? It is greater than or less than? P value greater than or less than 0.05? लिखो, बाजू में लिखो. अभी मैं फिर से लिखूंगा ऐसे. P significance ये दिमाग में आना चाहिए. 0.000, 0.05, फिर मैं रखूंगा ओके ये लेस देन है. तो ये आना चाहिए ना आपको अभी कि भाई P वैल्यू जो है वो लेस देन 0.05 है. यस और नो? So if less than 0.05, acceptance of alternative. So does your equal variance assumed or not in Leavenworth statistics? So equal variance not assumed because the hypothesis accepted is H1, and H1 says that equal variance in the data are not assumed. And if it is not assumed, right, so you have to check the data for inferential statistics. So there are two P values for this. You can see this equal variance assumed and equal variance not assumed. So out of these two value, which value should I take it? So there is an answer for this question. If equal variance assumed means if your H0 got accepted, that means if this P value was greater than 0.05, then you have to check the result of this. But here the P value is 0.05, so you have to remove it. You should not see any figures, which is portrayed over here. You have to remove it. These figures are not important and you don't have to report in your interpretation. You have to report all these figures in your interpretations. Is it clear? Because equal variance are not assumed for you. I hope I'm making sense.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good. Should I run this test?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. आज बहुत कम लोग हैं, क्यों ऐसा है? बहुत ज्यादा सिखा दिया है। आज ही दिन था मेन, और आज था। चलिए एनीवेज, जिसका जो मन करे वो क्या कर सकते हैं। Okay, now you can see the data, right? Can you see this data?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can see this in the first few parts. There were some variables which is called demographic profiles. As you can see this, age, gender, education, occupation, income, right? So these are socio-demographic profile, right? So these are, if you are seeing this age, right, you tell me, is it, and you can see this over here in SPSS, you have to define the measures. Can you see this nominal, ordinal, and scale? So if you are seeing this age, where the age has been asked in this sequence, is it nominal or ordinal?
Ordinal, sir.
Ordinal.
Perfect. I hope this purpose of today has been served. Then gender, male, female, is it any sequence? That means should I give only one number to male, or I can give one number to female? If I can, sequence does not matter, then it is nominal data. Where sequence does matter and I cannot give any number to any option, right? So there is a specific criteria where the sequence does matter, it is ordinal. Here the sequence does matters.
No, sir.
No, so it is nominal, so it is clear, right? Nominal. Education, so you can see this higher education, graduation, post graduation. So here the sequence matters.
Yes, sir.
No, who said this? What if I'm doing profit, if I'm doing MBA and CA also? So which one I should put first, MBA or CA? For education, sequence does not matter. Although you can say that, I can start with 10th, 12th, graduation, but then after the sequence is not remaining because there is so many horizontal growth or the horizontal study that you can do it along with other studies, right? So that horizontal expansions are there in education, so sequence does not matters because there is no criteria to prove the sequence. Occupation, students, service government, service private, business, professional practice, retired. Does sequence matters? Again, it is like an education.
No, sir.
Let's say if some person is government and some person is service private. So should I give the first priority to service government? Is it?
No.
No, not at all possible. Clear? So this is absolutely not possible. So here the sequence does not matters, right? So that is why it is called nominal data. Yeah. Then income, you can see this below rupees 5 lakhs. It starts from 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, 10 lakh 1 to 15 lakh, 15 lakh 1 to 20 lakhs, and above 20 lakhs. Here does sequence matters?
Yes, sir.
So it is ordinal. Here, very, very simple. Clear? Bank type, public, private, foreign. Does sequence matters?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Right. Now I want to show you some factors for online banking. Can you see these factors? So there are factors for online: factor 1, factor 2, factor 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is what I was talking about, factors for online banking. So here in this factor, does the sequence matters? Sorry,
No, sir.
this particular factor, firstly, I will show you. So these factors are in numbers. So this is numbers. The data are in numbers. Yes or no? I hope you are aware about the windows of the SPSS because I don't have sufficient times to explain all this aspect. But this is variable view and this is data view. When in variable views, there are variables needs to be displayed and adjusted. Where in data, according to the variables, the data needs to be injected. Clear? So this is factor 1, factor 2, factor 3, and so on. Is it clear? Understood. Okay, so this is scale data, right? So the moment I have this data, so I should give the data type to be scale. Can you see this? Right.
Yes, sir.
So out of this is a scale data, and there is one option that is called socio-demographic data, which is either nominal and ordinal. Now you tell me, out of this socio-demographical factor and the factors for online banking, right? Out of which one is dependent and which one is independent? Which one is dependent and which one is independent? We have already covered theory, so I थोड़ा बहुत आपको याद होगा या कुछ आइडिया हो तो प्लीज बताइए.
Socio factor can be independent one, and the scales of this banking might be a uh,
You
dependent
are
one.
right. Right, you are right. But why is it happening like this? Please see this. I
Each
want to
gender,
see. Yes, please. बताइए.
yeah, each gender, whatever with the socio, that was not but depend on any conditions, but the banking scales can be dependent on the basis of the age or the gender
Yes, the
or
opinion of
occupation.
the respondent, right, in terms of the different categories where they are belonging. Right. So the categories of socio-demographic is making impact in the difference of opinion of the factors. So factors are getting influenced by socio-demographic. Socio-demographics are not influenced by factors. Right. किसी का यूजर फ्रेंडली बोलने से वो मेल का फीमेल नहीं होगा. Yes or no? Simple sense. Right. मैं ये नहीं बोलूंगा कि सारे मेल यूजर फ्रेंडली बोलेंगे और सारे फीमेल नॉन यूजर फ्रेंडली बोलेंगे. So it's not category. Clear? So and it not make any difference. So that is where it is going to be dependent and independent, right? So when first of all, what you need to do is you need to check the normality. So whenever you need to check the normality, you need to go to explore, right? So where to have the explore? So you have to go to analyze. Under the analyze, you have to go to descriptive statistics, and under descriptive statistics, you have to go for explore. And the moment you go to explore, so normality किसकी check होती है? Dependent variable की या independent variable की? Or rather I can say nominal ordinal data की या scale data की? Normality किसकी check करेंगे?
Scale data. Scale
Scale
data,
and
sir.
ordinal data.
Scale, dependent data, right? So this is scale. I'll take it on this side and I'll go to statistics. Whenever you are applying normality, always you have to do this. So what is the important over here is plots, and don't forget to mention this normality plots with test. Right, that is where you are getting the values of Kolmogorov-Monro and Shapiro-Wilcoxon, right? So if you forget this, you will just receive these steam and lift diagrams and descriptive statistics. If you want histogram, you can click. If you don't want, you can leave. For your sake of understanding, let's take it. Continue. Okay. Now here you have to see the test of normality results. Now this results is with you. Let's take it in Excel for your better understanding. So this is how it going to be. Right. Is it visible to everyone? Right. So here, first of all, how much data you have it? 100. And there are two types of test, Kolmogorov-Monro and Shapiro-Wilk. which test are you going to apply? And where to decide? You have to see the sample size, So you have to see this degree of freedom, right? So degree of freedom का मतलब क्या होता है? Degree of freedom always gettable, out of the formula called sample size minus 1. Right? So here your degree of freedom is how much? 100. So what should be your sample size? So if I put 100, so minus 1 should be on this side. So is equal to sample size. Should I get it? Yes or no? So my sample size is how much? Is it large or small?
It's small.
Although it is large, as per the Shapiro criteria, although it for PhD level it is small. So Shapiro says that up to 50 samples you have to use Shapiro significance value. Beyond that you have to use Kolmogorov. So which test I should use it? I should use Kolmogorov, right? So this values are important for me. So I'll remove this part as of now for your understanding. Clear? Okay, now you can see this. Now you tell me this is significance value, right? Or you can say p value, right? And this is significance value. Clear? So you tell me this is p value. So 0.000. It is greater than or less than?
Less than 0.05, sir.
Less than.
0.05, right? Less than. This is greater than? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Same is the case of the second one.
Yes,
Same
sir.
in the case of protection. Same in the case of confusion, right? And rest are less than, right? So almost there is a mixed response for all the data, all the variables, as you can see this. But if this is a mixed, opinion in terms of normality, so in any case, for applying parametric, none of the factors should be non-parametric. But for applying parametrics, there is no specific requirement that none of the factors should be without non-parametric. Even there are two factors which is not normal, which is applicable for non-parametrics, and 6 factors are normal. Still, you need to go for non-parametrics. For parametrics, it is very clear that all these factor needs to be, normally distributed. Even 1 or 2 factors are not normally distributed. You should not apply parametrics. Is it clear? Here you have seen it in many instances, like this instances. This is a one case where your data is normal. This is another case where your data is normal, right? This is another case where your data is normal, right? So in this 4 case, your data is normal. In this 4 case, your data are not normal. In this 4 case, your data are not normal. So this red one says that you need to go for non-parametric, but or yellow one says that you have to go for parametrics. So if there is a fight between application of parametrics and non-parametrics, who is going to win the battle? Parametric or non-parametric? Who can digest? Parametric can digest non-parametric, or non-parametric can digest parametric. So here the conclusion is you need to go for non-parametric test. Here is the conclusion is you need to go for non-parametric test. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Final answer is you need to go for non-parametric test. Clear? So there are multiple parametric and non-parametric because we don't have that much time, right? So I need to quickly brush up the things. So if you want to go for parametric test, all the parametric tests are available over here. Can you see this? Compare means, right? Under the compare means, you can see this. There are multiple things, right? So if you want to find out any one particular variable's mean, let's say if I want to find out the mean for for the security, clear? So what I can do is I quickly click OK, and you can see this. I will have the mean. I have the mean. So mean is 4. The mean of security is 4. There was a question which I had asked in terms of Likert scale: strongly disagree, disagree. One was strongly disagree, two was strongly one was strongly disagree, two was disagree, three was neutral, four is agree, and five is strongly agree. So out of that, the mean is coming 4.06. इसका मतलब ये होता है कि 4.06 मतलब 1 से 5 लाइकर्ट स्केल में मेजोरिटी जो एवरेज आ रही है वो 4 और 4 से ऊपर आ रही है. इसका मतलब है कि लोग सिक्योरिटी पैरामीटर्स के अंदर अग्री कर रहे हैं कि ऑनलाइन बैंकिंग सक्सेसफुल है. यस और नो? बिकॉज 4 का मतलब क्या है? 4 का मतलब है स्ट्रांगली अग्री. क्लियर और नॉट? Yes or no?
So can you please repeat it once again?
Yeah.
I couldn't get it this part.
If this result is saying that your mean value is this one, so whenever you are applying one sample a mean value, so it is 4.06. So I had asked this question in Likert scale, right? So Likert scale says that one is for strongly disagree. Yes. 2 is for disagree. 3 is for
Agree.
neutral. 4 is for agree. 5 is for strongly agree. Now you tell me what is your average responses? They both are matching, or it is going slightly beyond that. So slightly beyond means they are slightly touching strongly agree. So almost the opinion are coming from which side? Disagree, neutral, or agree side?
Agree side.
So this is for security. So what I can perceive is, for security, people are having the opinion that online banking is providing security for the transactions. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Fine enough, everyone?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Right. Then you have other test, analyze, compare means one sample t-test. Right. If I want to cover only security, let's say here I want to, earlier you have find out the mean. Now when you are going for one sample t-test, again it is for one sample means it is for one variable. But if you want to make, the difference with the consideration of the average value, So just now we have seen this, the test value for security. Let's take the security only. For the security parameter, it was 4.06. So obviously I have tested the, average value 4.06. So obviously I need to apply over here. Can you see this test value? So I'll apply this 4. I want to see this. So every individual who has applied and given an opinion for these security parameters for online banking are having the same opinion of, the average value which we have it, or there is a deviation in the opinion with consideration to the average value. Is it clear? जैसे कि मान लो कि एवरेज वैल्यू 4 आया है, 10 लोगों ने रिस्पॉन्ड किया, 5, चौथे ने 5 लिखा है, छठे ने फिर से 2 लिखा है, सातवें ने 3 लिखा है, आठवें ने 4 लिखा है, नौवें ने 4 लिखा है और 10वें ने 5 लिखा है. तो मैंने यहाँ पे नोटिस किया कि 10 लोगों का रिस्पॉन्स है और उसका एवरेज निकल रहा है 4, बट उसमें मैंने ये देखा कि जो रिस्पॉन्स है उसमें जो डेविएशन है वो 8 लोगों में है. तो अगर वो डेविएशन ज्यादा है कि नहीं है वो चेक करना है, तो आपको वन सैंपल टी टेस्ट यूज करना है. और ये वन सैंपल टी टेस्ट क्या करता है कि उसी वेरिएबल की उसी एवरेज वैल्यू के साथ कंपेयर करता है और देखता है कि जो एवरेज ओपिनियन निकल के आया है वही क्या इंडिविजुअल ओपिनियन भी है कि नहीं है, या इंडिविजुअल का ओपिनियन एवरेज से डिफर कर रहा है मेजरली, राइट? दैट इज फॉर व्हिच द वन सैंपल टी टेस्ट नीड्स टू बी यूटिलाइज्ड एंड यू हैव टू क्लिक ओके. एंड नाउ हियर यू कैन सी दिस. तो यहाँ पे मेन डिफरेंस आ रहा है, देख रहे हो ये रिजल्ट्स कैसे इंटरप्रेट करना है, अब मैं आपको ये सिखा रहा हूँ. ये आपका रिजल्ट आया वन सैंपल टी टेस्ट. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल अच्छा, डिफरेंस नहीं आया है ना? और नहीं आने का कारण भी है क्योंकि हमने ऑलमोस्ट एवरेज सॉफ्टवेयर से ही निकाली थी और ज्यादा डेविएशन नहीं है। क्यों नहीं है तो आप देख लीजिए, पी वैल्यू कितना आया है आपका 0.534, विच इज ग्रेटर देन और लेस देन?
Greater than.
Greater than. Which hypothesis got accepted? Null. Null says no difference of opinion. Null says no difference of opinion, and alternate says there is a difference of opinion. So here you have no difference of opinion. और उसका एक कारण ये भी है कि नो डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन आप यहाँ पे भी चेक कर सकते हो। आप डिफरेंस देखिए खाली, कितना कम डिफरेंस है, 0.06 का ही डिफरेंस है। यस और नो? और उसका कारण भी है क्योंकि हमने मीन वैल्यू लेके आए थे ना ऊपर 4.06, देख लीजिए 4.06 आया था, मैंने मीन एवरेज वैल्यू टेस्ट वैल्यू क्या दिया था 4, तो सॉफ्टवेयर आपको रिजल्ट भी दे रहा है, डिफरेंस कितना आया है 0.06। तो अगर मैं इन दोनों को ऐसे माइनस भी करता हूँ मैथमेटिकली तो वो भी वही आता है। यस और नो?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can see this. Yeah, the same results we have received here. Right? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Any query? Any questions? Are most welcome. Fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So let's see the, one more test. Right. Independent sample t-test. Right. So this is for two group values, gender male and female. So here you can see this test variable and grouping variable. So grouping variable means always the socio-demographic profile, as you can see this over here. And you have to give the value for the groups. So obviously group 1 is 1, that is for male, and 2 is for female, right? And click OK. And in test variable, I'll again select the security only. Let's see this. यहाँ पे difference आ रहा है gender के बीच में for security reasons. Does their opinion differ in terms of security or they are having the same opinion? Right. So the opinion differs when your p-value is less than 0.05, where alternate hypothesis got accepted. But if your p-values are coming greater than 0.05, then there is no difference of opinion. So here you can see this. Click OK, and here you have the results. And the result says that there is no difference of opinion, as you can see this p-value. Again, for this, you can see this p-value. Again, equal variance assumed or not assumed. You have to check first. Right. So here you can see this p-value is greater than 0.05. So greater than 0.05 means your equal variance are assumed because null is accepted because p is greater than 0.05. So null in equal variance says that equal variance assumed. So you have to see all these values. Right. And out of this value, your p-value is 0.583, which is greater than 0.05. And that's why your null hypothesis again got accepted. And it says that there is no difference of opinion among the male and female for the, what I can say, security purpose of online banking. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is how your different tests can be applied with these certain assumptions. I'm done from my side. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm ready to answer. Any questions?
So I have a question. If a person, for example, if someone is writing a paper for the first time, okay, so that person should add these data or not in their studies, or it should be only a qualitative based paper?
It depends on the title which you frame, madam, based on literature, just like we have discussed yesterday.
Yes.
And based on the title, what objective you have to frame, according to that, you will apply the data. That will be decided based on research tab.
Okay. But so there are instances where we as students have shorter span of time. Okay, as the scholars, we have shorter span of time, and we need to publish a paper as soon as possible, as it is a mandatory norm, as we are all aware of it. So, in such a scenario, if a person is trying to go beyond these numbers, or if we are focusing more on a quantitative aspect, then we need to gather more data. For example, my study is on the narrative, the silence narrative of working class during emergency of 1975 to 77. I have to work both on primary as well as secondary data too. For that, I need to collect data and also go via PLFS data. In such a scenario, if I go for a paper writing right now, because I have not collected data yet, I'm in my initial time of research, so I couldn't collect right now. In such a scenario, if I go for a writing paper based on numbers, it will be, I guess, it won't be complete information, because I haven't collected the data, and qualitative ones can work for me. I think so. That's the query I have.
You have, in PhD, there is one section which is called chapterization.
Yes, sir.
Or timeline frames,
Yes,
how
yes,
you will proceed with your PhD.
yes, sir.
So you have to decide and you have to frame, like, you will give 6 months for literature review, six
Yes.
months for introduction, and then after immediately you have to shift towards the questionnaire designing and you start collecting data. Let's say if you are collecting data in 1.5 year, so you still have 1.5 year more, to finish your publication part. So if you have your data in hands, you can modify the data with certain numbers and you can publish your paper. So that is where it is very important that you should have your data collection, because without data, research cannot be possible. And even if it is for research paper also, you have to justify based on your data. So data needs to be there, and data must be collected within 1.5 year or max to max 2 years. And what people are doing it till third year, they are just going through, introduction LR. So this is not advisable.
Okay, sir. So I have another query as well. If
Which university you are?
sorry,
In which university you are doing PhD?
so I'm from Amity University.
Okay, Amity. Okay, Noida.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So I have a question that if there's a numerous software which are coming up right now for data analysis, and as a beginner, which one is suitable? Because I have used Stata first, and I haven't used SPSS till now.
So Stata is basically for panel data,
Okay, sir.
right? So you are at wrong direction. You must use SPSS
Okay.
because
Okay.
your study is not supporting panel data. So I don't think so. It will be much useful to you, and it
Okay.
will create some confusions as well.
So SPSS is better.
SPSS is better for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Okay. Yeah, but again, I'm sharing my details. Like, right, you can refer my research papers on ORCID ID, Google Scholar ID, with one in FieldNet ID. You all should connect. I'm also having my contact details, so you all should connect and you should refer those papers, because these papers will help you out. At your future reference, how to draft it. Because today I have already taught you, what you have to do, but how to do it and how to execute. So you can always save this detail, because you can go to Google Scholar, for drafting a paper. It is a win-win situation. You will also get, some ideas for your research work, how to proceed with data, which sort of data will have which kind of test you need to apply. Right. So there are so many questions that you have in your mind. So you just go through this, either you can go for, you can also connect with me LinkedIn, or if you want some papers, there are certain Scopus elsewhere papers. So you can also ask me, I'll drop you a paper. So this is how you will learn and you will come to know, because only attending session will give you a glimpse, but when it comes to the execution, you should have some practical clarity how it is to be and how it needs to be, right? So that is where you have to refer it. So just go through it, and if at all you have any queries, then you can reach out to me. I have already put my email ID and contact number, so you can definitely come out. Yes, Sweta Singh, madam, you can.
Sir, as it's for details, sir, can you explain some manova with
ANOVA age, just apply age factor. ANOVA will applicable.
No, sir, not ANOVA, sir. MANOVA, sir.
MANOVA, it is a long story for which we have to go for the data, right? But again, if you want to understand in person, you can definitely call. I'll make you understand, because in 1 or 2 minutes it's not possible.
Okay.
Yeah, any more questions? Still any questions? We can take it, or
No, sir.
okay, sure. Thank you. So thank you all of you for connecting. I hope you got, mainly I tried to cover today types of scales, data and